Welcome to The Explainer. You ever feel like you're just spinning your wheels financially, like you're working super hard but just not getting ahead? Well, today we're going to dive into a simple and honestly kind of old school concept that can completely change the game. We're talking about how to automate your wealth building so it just happens without you even thinking about it. So let's start with a frustration that I think we can all relate to, right? You get your paycheck, you feel good for about 5 minutes, and then poof, the money just vanishes. You pay the rent, the bills, you get some groceries, and by the time you even think about saving, there's literally nothing left. It's this super frustrating cycle, like you're on a financial hamster wheel and can't get off. Yeah, that feeling has a name. We call it the leftovers saving trap. And it's this totally flawed approach that honestly keeps most people from ever really building wealth. It makes saving feel like a chore, something you might get to. But what if the problem isn't you? What if it's the system itself? So this is the way most of us are taught to handle money, right? The paycheck comes in, all the expenses go out, and then you're supposed to save whatever's left over, if anything is left over. This makes saving a total afterthought. It's not a priority, it's just scraps. And you're never going to get ahead trying to save scraps. It's like trying to fill a bucket that's got a huge hole in the bottom. Okay, but what if we just flipped that whole equation on its head? Let's talk about a totally different philosophy. Pay yourself first. This is a simple little paradigm shift that is an absolute game changer for building wealth automatically. Let's dive in and see how it works. So here's the core idea, and it's so powerful. You start treating your savings as the first and most important bill you have to pay each month. That's right, a bill. You pay your future self before you pay the landlord, before you pay the electric company, before you buy anything. You automatically send that money to your goals before you can even touch it. It's non-negotiable. All right, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do it? Well, this is the best part. It's not just a nice idea. It's a practical system you can build. Think of it like building your own personal wealth machine. And it only takes 4 simple steps. Okay, here's the blueprint. Step 1, you keep your normal checking account, where your paycheck lands. Nothing new there. But then, step 2, you're going to open a separate high-yield online savings account. The separation is key. Step 3, inside that savings account, you create specific buckets or sub-accounts for all your goals. And finally, the magic part, you set up automatic weekly transfers from your checking to those buckets. You set it up just once, and then you forget about it. The machine just works in the background. Hey, if this is starting to make sense and you're getting excited about building your own wealth machine, this is probably a good time to pause and hit that subscribe button for Finance with Lennox Hart. We break down stuff like this all the time so you don't miss out on the next explainer. All right, so we've got the machine built. Now what do we do with the money it's saving for us? This is where we get organized. We're going to create those buckets we talked about. And the source material for this actually has a really cool blueprint for organizing your financial life around 5 essential buckets. Let's check them out. So here's a look at what this could look like in practice. You've got a bucket for retirement, super important, a bucket for your emergency fund, for when life happens, maybe a travel fund for awesome experiences, a car fund for your next ride, and a house fund for a down payment. Now, these numbers are just examples, okay? The real beauty of this whole thing is that you can customize it for whatever your goals are. You decide what matters to you and how much you want to put towards it each week. Okay, once this machine is up and running, it seriously gives you what feels like a financial superpower. It completely transforms your relationship with money. Why? Because you get total clarity and guilt-free spending. It's amazing. And this right here is the magic rule, the absolute best part of this whole system. Since you already paid yourself first, your future is taken care of, whatever is left in your checking account is yours to live on. You can spend it, every single dollar, completely guilt-free. No more second-guessing if you should buy that coffee or go out to dinner. It's incredible. So how does this work with those really big decisions? Let's take a kind of extreme example just for fun. Say you wake up one day and decide, you know what, I want to buy a brand new Ferrari. How does the system handle that? Well, the system's answer is incredibly simple. You don't have to stress about it or have some big emotional debate. You just look in your car bucket. The number in there tells you the cold, hard truth. There's no emotion needed. The data is right there. Yeah, the source material calls this an instant gut check, and that's the perfect way to describe it. It takes all the emotion, all the should I or shouldn't I drama, completely out of the equation. You look at the number, and boom, You know exactly what you can truly afford.
Now, this system is ridiculously powerful, but there is one big catch, or maybe just a limitation, that we absolutely have to talk about. Okay, so it comes down to short-term goals versus long-term goals. For things you need cash for soon, like your emergency fund or a vacation in the next couple of years, a high-yield savings account is perfect. It's safe, it's liquid. But for your really long-term goals, like retirement or maybe a house that's 10 years away, just letting that money sit in savings isn't enough. You're going to want to look at a brokerage account to invest that money so it can actually grow and beat inflation over time.
All right, let's wrap this up with the key takeaways. Number 1, automate your savings by paying yourself first. It's non-negotiable. 2, use a separate online bank. That little bit of friction makes a huge difference. 3, create specific buckets for your goals. Give every dollar a job. And 4, live guilt-free on whatever is left in your checking account. Finally, use this whole system as an emotion-free guide for all your big purchases. So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. Seriously, what would change in your life if your wealth just grew automatically in the background without you ever having to stress or even think about it? Imagine that peace of mind. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this explainer helpful, do me a huge favor and hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know what's the first bucket you're going to create. We'll see you in the next one.